I've been listening to for the last 3 months of diligently doing work. All you have to do is Google lo-fi in YouTube,
Yes.
and
Lo-fi.
it'll bring you all kinds of explorations, acoustic explorations. How about that? Um,
Beautiful.
all right, so it's great to see 28 users here, and we have 9 over on our YouTube platform. And so, welcome to the final session number 22 events that we have had over this week, both in both official languages. So this is incredible, and we've saved the best for last. Nellie Keating and John Barron joining us to take you through some brilliant content creation. Nellie, since you are so humble, please allow me to take this privilege to tell all of you about Nellie's little project. There's a team of people behind her, but she's the host of this little TV series that we like to call Make Her Fun. And if you are a Rogers, Eastlink, or Bell recipient, or a YouTube watcher, you can all engage in what is now 7 half-hour episodes of Make Her Fun content. Without any further ado, I'm going to hand you over to my very capable, brilliant colleagues, John and Nellie. Take it away.
Hello. Thank you so much, Jacob. Did you just leave? Okay, no, he's still
He just
here.
left.
Of you seem to have teamed up, like Cheryl, Chris, Carrie, and Alan. Do absolutely please feel free to join in the public chat. There's we can answer questions in there and get to know each other. So absolutely join in there. John, do you want to tell everybody what we're doing today?
Well, what we're going to do today, Nellie, thank you very much for the handoff. I feel like the color commentator in the sportscast. And the color is purple. What we're going to do today is tell you a little bit about the tips and tricks of how we've created content over the years with Brilliant Labs and before Brilliant Labs. Nellie has been an accomplished creator for years in a variety of different fashions, and I have also been creating content for most of my career as well. So, and Jacob has said we have some community TV stuff coming on, and that's very exciting. And it's already been on Rogers TV here in Newfoundland as well. So, Nellie, you're a star everywhere, not just in Nova Scotia anymore. So we're going to just give you some tips and tricks. We're going to show you not too much about specific things. We're just going to tell you a little bit about things we've learned. Between myself and Nellie, we probably created somewhere between 300 or 400 pieces of video content easily, and it's just growing. And we're going to try to give you a little bit of a sense of some of the things we look out for. So I'm going to take the first piece, Nellie, and then Nellie's going to interject, and then she's going to take the second piece, and I'm going to interject. So really, the content creation is about engagement. We're trying to engage students in a totally different way than we've ever had to engage them before. And before COVID-19, we were trying to engage students in a totally different way than we engaged them before. And video content is a huge piece of that. So we'll talk to you about creation of video, but it really is about what you're going to put on the video. You need to be as engaging on a video as you are in person. And that's not easy. Normally, when I'm sitting in front of this computer, I sit. But as a teacher, I never sat. I couldn't teach from a sitting position, so I want to be that person today. I want to be that energetic, jumping around and dancing person, because that's the kind of person you need to be when you're doing video. Okay, so it has to be that thought process. So you need to entice your students to show up. So the sillier you are when you're opening up a video, the better off it will be, because that's your hook, right? My students always called me crazy. And because of that, they'd show up to class. And that was a good thing, right? What's Mr. Barron going to say today? So, you know, that's really about the hook. It's about engaging them and bringing them to your class. However you get them here, the content then you can then teach them. That's the other part. It's like edutainment. That's the thing that Nellie and I were talking about the other day. We're entertainers. We've become, especially in this COVID-19 world, we've become much more entertainers because kids had the ability to not come and see us. So we have to be that engaging. So there's a couple of things to remember when you're doing video. Number one, either the content has to be engaging, or if it isn't engaging, then the style and the way you capture it and the way you present it, that has to be engaging. So it's one or the other. Because the kids got, I don't know, 6 billion YouTube videos they could watch. And you want to be that YouTube video that they come and see, right? Maybe you wear a funny hat every day, and every day, you know, you're going to wear a different funny hat. I'm making a different funny hat. And come and see what my funny hat's going to look like tomorrow. Something like that can easily be a hook. You don't know what hook is going to be. And you're going to have to try different things until you find it out, okay? But personal touches in this, what we are doing, is huge. You need to make a connection with your students. So yeah, there needs to be content, and you might not have to have your face on that content, but you should, what we call, bookend it. On the front end, you should introduce it with this sort of engaging, hey, today we're going to learn how to do transverse drawings. Oh my God, I'm so excited about it, right? I know. Anyway, I'm so excited about doing transverse. And then you do this wonderful, good thing with your transverse without your face there. And then at the end you go, hey, didn't you enjoy that? Well, tomorrow we're going to do circle geometry. And that's a Jacob favorite right there, right? Circle geometry. We're going to do circle geometry tomorrow. So you really need to bookend it. You need to have that part there, because that's where you engage the kids. That's where you bring them to who you are. And that's, you know, that's a very simple thing to do. We also talk, Nellie and I were talking about the fact that curation is also valid. And by curation, we mean there's lots of really good videos out there already. But it's okay for you to create a little clip or to have a conversations with your student about what the video is presenting and curating it for them and say, hey, I found this neat video. It's an extension of the stuff we've done on circle geometry. It's on Khan Academy. Hey, you should take a look at it. So the curation of video is fine as well, and it still has a content creation feel, and it's still aiding and abetting the whole idea of teaching your kids online. And that's what you can't lose sight of, right? So what do you got there? Nellie, anything you want to add to that?
Just more than ever now, we have to convince our students to show up. And something that is unusual that we are not used to is we've become YouTubers. And there are tips and tricks from YouTubers out there on how to build your audience, how to keep them coming back and subscribing, and how to make sure they're watching your videos to the end of the video. And as much as that's a business for them, it's our job to keep them coming back and to keep them sticking around to the end of the video. And so YouTubers have a few tricks. They call their subscribers a name. Like my son is part of the Supernovas at his school because it's like the two of the grade 5 classes get together and they're called the Supernovas. Something that, and it gives them a sense of being on a team. Something that YouTubers will tell you is tease something at the beginning of the video so that you can reveal it at the end of the video, and also have incentives for people who are commenting. So the first 3 people to comment about this thing, I will pick a random emoji and assign it to your name. And then from that on, that's your random emoji. You can even film with a screen drop, and I'm going to randomly pick one person who showed up to this class, and they get to pick what is on my screen. It can be an airport, it can be the SpongeBob Bikini Bottom. You can have all kinds of different things, and that can be an incentive to show up. You can have giveaways of different kinds of things like that, and it doesn't feel educational. It's more on the entertainment style, but again, suddenly we are thrown into the world of getting people to join us and stick with us. And it's so easy. It's easy to say, oh, my internet's not working, or oh, my webcam broke, and then they can check out really easily. And so we have to bring them in and keep them. And there are lots of YouTube videos out there on how to keep your subscribers watching your videos. And I recommend that you check those out because they apply to us now. And that
and the YouTube part is the beauty part, right? That's the beauty part. So one of the reasons we weren't going to teach you how to do something specifically or just give you the tips and tricks is because everything that we can teach you is already on YouTube. And some of the stuff that we could teach you, we've put on YouTube. So Nellie's got a shared video there of how to do screen captures using a software called OBS, which is an open broadcasting software, which is an open source program. I have a bunch of videos on using Caden Live to do video editing. We're going to be putting up more and more of these videos, how to do shots with your phone. All these things are going to be populated on our YouTube channel. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up for just that occasion. So we're going to go into the two facets of creation now, which is editing and shooting. And I'm going to do editing first. I don't know, because I'm talking already.
You're a cart before the horse kind of person, aren't you, John?
I have a joke about Descartes that I can tell you sometime about with that one, but that's
Friday
another
afternoon.
One. James, the link to YouTube is on the bottom of the Brilliant Content document. Okay, so our link to the YouTube Caden Live stuff is on the bottom of that document that I shared earlier in the public chat. And the link to Nellie's OBS is there from Google Drive. And you can click on that and it's able to be viewed by everyone. So when you're editing, the KISS principle, and it's I don't like to keep it in the way that people say it rudely. I've always said it's keep it short and simple, because in video editing, keep it short and simple is the name of the game. Start from where you are, build your skills from where you are. Okay, so you need to keep it either the video has to be short and simple, or the content has to be short and the content has to be short and simple. So pick a small piece of the part you teach and make that into a video. Start with a plan. You got to have a plan for your video. Before you shoot, before you do anything else, you need to storyboard what you're going to try to create. And that'll be the whole part about storyboarding, is putting everything down, drawing little pictures, figuring out what you got to shoot. And that'll allow you to take all the video that you require while also giving you a good sense of how you're going to edit it and how it's going to all fit in, right? Storyboarding is huge. Another thing I like to tell people when it comes to video editing is keep the editing simple, okay? Lots of people like to have these really heavy transitions, where like diamonds sprinkle out and everything's going all over the place, and you're on the verge of having a seizure because all this stuff is happening. That takes away from the content sometimes. You have to be very careful. If you're trying to get the content to be the focus, you need to make sure that you don't dazzle them with all these bells and whistles. When simple cut and simple fades will give you everything that you need.
The pizzazz comes from you, not your editing.
That's right. And this is a capture thing that I'm gonna preempt Nellie on. She's gonna kill me later. Go for high quality audio and go for high quality video. You can always downgrade the audio and the video. You can't make something from nothing. If your audio is low, it's not heard. It's almost impossible to make it able to be heard without a lot of hiss. So you got to make sure your audio is very tight. That's why I wear this. Nellie's got a better microphone than I do. I wear this headset, and the reason I wear this headset is because my audio comes through very clearly. I'm very confident that my audio is being taken well. And I am a loud fella. Those of you that see me in person know me that I'm a loud person. So I can down my audio in my videos. Jacob would love to have a volume button for me when we're in the same room together. But I think in this regard,
everyone else would love to have a volume button for us.
That's right.
But you can put it
because the two of us together.
Brilliant Labs on the same workshop. I just wanted to mention, there's no harm in having your microphone quite close to your face. Everybody knows you're making a video. You can put your microphone close to your face. They can see the microphone. It can be right here. That's fine. It's not okay. Yeah, there's Jacob's microphone right there. It's fine if they can see the microphone. It's not fine if the microphone's on the other side of the room and you're really muffled and hard to understand. That's not okay.
That is not okay. And I can tell you, I used to do videotapes of teachers over the years and interview them, and the number of videos we've lost, real terrific content we've lost because the audio was just too low. We just couldn't pick out some of the words. It's a shame, you don't want that to happen to you. Okay, Nellie, you want to talk about some of the camera stuff?
I do, but I want to actually segue from what you were just saying to keep it short and simple. I happen to have a very close family member who is in the Center for Teaching and Learning at Dalhousie, and she is currently teaching professors how to turn their lectures into online video. And she and I were talking to each other, trying to figure out, how can we help teach these people how to take an hour lesson and put it on video, or 6 hour long lessons. And the fact is, our audience has a pretty short attention span. And you are in a situation where you have, say, 50 minutes, and you lost me at...
Your audio was spotty.
Is it?
It just every now and again. Microphone.
We won't make a joke as far as this being a session on brilliant content creation. You're still brilliant.
I don't have my microphone with me.
No, yeah. I think it's your connection, actually, but it's fine.
Okay, am I coming through at this point?
Yep.
Great. You have a whole 50-minute lesson. What you're doing is, first you're connecting with the students, and then you're teaching the concept, and then you're reteaching the concept because half of the students didn't get it, and then you're answering questions about the concept, and then you're reteaching it to the few who still haven't quite gotten it, and then you're bringing back the students who went too far with it, and then getting them all to show that they understood what it is, and then you are starting to talk about how to apply the concept that you have just taught to prior knowledge. And that 50 minutes really only includes 5 to maybe 10 minutes of actual teaching content. Don't make a video that is more than 10 minutes. And what my mom was talking about, teaching professors how to get their 3-hour lecture onto a video that was 15 minutes long. And they were saying, okay, so 8 15-minute videos. Just no. One 15-minute video. That one concept, you only have to explain it once. You explain it, you do an example, you do another example, and then you have them practice it before they can lose your explanation. With a video, they can go back and rewatch it. They can slow it down. They can watch it over again. And so you teach the concept, you give the example, and then you give them an opportunity to practice it. So either through questions that you've asked, or through an online poll, which are quite easy to put together, and easily you can just say, how do I make an online poll on YouTube, and you'll figure it out. But through follow-up questions, practice questions, and projects that will require the learning that you have created there, you can do so many concepts in just under 10 minutes, possibly even 5. And then you can have the synchronous learning, where you can have the times when you are face-to-face with your students online in this sort of setting to answer questions and to clarify what you were talking about. But again, don't make a video that's more than even 5 minutes to explain the content, another 5 to do the examples. It's really important. So moving on to how to actually record, you can, I know that everyone here is going to be doing different types of content and is going to be filming it in different rooms and different locations, with or without internet, with or without Mac computers, tablets, PCs, and things like that. You can film on a phone. You can film using the camera that's built into your laptop, which I'm using right now. You can use an external webcam, which is what I use to film the television show that Jacob was showing earlier. And you can do a combination of all of those things. The very simplest thing to do is if you have a laptop with a webcam, you can set that up to be looking at you, and that's the easiest way to film yourself, especially if you're using the Open Broadcast software, which is free. You can download it, and you can use it to capture all of your footage. When you're setting something like that up, you download the software. I watched a 15-minute YouTube video on how to make excellent, awesome OBS content, and that was all it took for me to be able to learn how to do this. Oh, wonderful. That's exciting. Infinite possibilities. OBS has some very simple controls where you can flip the image horizontally, or you can add different sources of sound. So you can add your microphone, or you can put in a photo that you have on your computer. You can even insert a video that's going on. You can even record 2 pictures at once. You can have a split screen, so your face is on one side, and if you have another webcam, you can record with the webcam facing down, and you can have your own hands writing. You make yourself a document camera, or you can have someone else's YouTube video showing in the side, and you can be commenting on it. Lots of things are available to use OBS for. Jeff, thank you for putting the OBS project link on there. That's great. We are also curating for you. OBS is easy. These YouTube channels are good for finding how to make good content, things like that. I want to talk about some very simple mechanical things you can do to make your videos more engaging. First of all, one of the sort of not to do's is to kind of do this. It's distracting how it looks a lot, and it looks a lot like you kind of don't know how to use your computer when you have a situation like this. It's fine for super casual talking with your family over brunch on Sunday, but try to bring your laptop up. I have mine sitting on a container of gummy bears, and it helps to center your face and make yourself the center of attention. I'm privileged enough to have this thing on the wall at my house, but you can also use a regular blank wall, just like everybody else on the picture has. But I'm also lit by an open window rather than a very dim lamp. And so lighting, presentation, being centered, being able to look at the camera when you're talking is pretty important. And it makes you seem like you're present in the moment. So what I usually do is, when I'm doing this right now, I'm actually looking at the video of myself talking, so that I can make sure that I'm in the center, and I can make sure that what I'm saying, yeah, great. Yeah, so you make the main focus of what's on the screen. And then if I'm really trying to connect, I will actually look at where the web is on my computer, because you can actually make a kind of eye contact with that webcam. And now I'm looking back down at where my own camera is, and so where the picture of myself is. So I can, see the expressions on my face and make sure they're what they're supposed to be. But you can connect using actual eye contact with the camera. It's really great if you can have more than one source of light, so that you're not looking like a half a shadow, and it gives a good impression. People can really see what your face looks like. Something we've been talking about in sort of the world is how young people are having trouble recognizing what body language means. And in the world of texting, we've used emojis to replace body language, and we need to make sure that we keep that kind of content important in our videos as well, because it's all about the relationships. We're no longer, the number one thing is not teaching the content anymore. It's making a relationship, making a connection, and getting kids excited about learning content. And they can go off and learn content, and you can just sort of show them the tip of the iceberg, and they will go get into it. But it's really, what we're doing here is building and maintaining relationships. And so being present and not doing this is great. If this is all you can do it the best you can. But there are some very easy, simple things you can do to make your presence more present.
One of the things that Nellie and I have talked about when we were talking about the Braille Labs team, when you're using your phone, shoot this way. And there's a lot of reasons to shoot this way. One of the biggest reasons is it's wide. Well, this way is not HD. It's not 1080p. It's actually a different resolution altogether. When you shoot this way, though, it is actually 16:9 shot. So it's actually will fit better into your editing suite. Shooting this way also is easier to hold on to the phone than this way. There's also no tipping. And you can also tuck your elbows when you're shooting. If you're looking to tuck your elbows in so that they're right on your chest. And that way you can hold your phone much sharper, and you don't have a lot of shaking, like, because it's Friday afternoon and it's warm in here. So, I mean, those are a lot of nifty things, and Nellie has been creating some really cool content. The other thing is you don't have to have your face on screen. The thing about a webcam, and I'm just going to do this. I'm just, I don't know what I'm. Oh, you know what? I got Graham Rich's card here. I think I'll focus on that. So you could take your webcam. Oh, see if I can find it. And you can focus on your screen looking down. So you can actually have your hands doing things here, putting things together. I'll turn Graham's card over so you might be able to actually read it. It's funny, I have a New Brunswick Department of Education person's name on. But anyway, so you can do things with your hands. You can draw. Look at what Jacob has set up there now. Jacob has his whole work area there, so he can do drawings of circle geometry. I keep going back to circle geometry. Got to come up with more content. But Nellie has created a bunch of interesting things. We've done paper beads, showing kids with your hands how these things are done, just with a bit of music in the background is also a very common thing to do, and it's also a very easy thing to do.
I use one of these. This is a cooling rack for making cookies. I prop it up on some pencils, or I actually had 4 wine bottles up here earlier, but so you prop it up on, I recommend wine bottles. I assume most of us have those.
Just don't have them in shot.
Yes, no, not in shot. But what you can then do is take your phone and put it on top of the cookie sheet, this. And I'm going to see if I can get this to, yeah. So you can make sure the camera is looking between the rungs, and then you're pointing it straight down at what's in front of you on the table. And it's a very, very simple way to get footage of what's happening on the table. And you can still be recording what's on your face at the same time. Being able to have a document camera that you can use live, and you can draw on things. You can have a whiteboard on your desk. You can be writing down other students' questions. It's something that can be very useful even when you're doing your synchronous face-to-face interactions with students. And it's also excellent for doing demonstrations of how you can make things, how you can manipulate manipulatives, or do an experiment. There's lots of things you can do having something face down on your desk. I just wanted to show, this is a flat surface that I used. It's a cork thing, and it's the back of a placemat. I would not use this part of the placemat in the video because it's extremely busy. If I wanted to show the parts of this airplane thing and I put it here, it's almost impossible to tell what's going on. So I would use very like this, and I have another thing where I have drawn it like in real time where the airflow would be going on this airplane. And then you can label things in real time, you can talk about them in real time, and if someone has a question, you can draw another arrow, things like that, to be able to make the learning sort of present and current with what you're talking about.
Nellie's right too about the other thing. When you're being filmed, you need to be cognizant of what's behind you. You had to make sure there's no posters over there that are going to be embarrassing or anything else. I was very cognizant today when I pointed this way. I didn't point at the treadmill that I hadn't been on in 9.5 months. I pointed at the white door here in the office that I'm working out of today. That's our time, I think. Nellie, what do you got?
Don't do this.
Ooh, don't do that either. And when you're shooting with your phone, same thing. Don't shoot into the light. Shoot away from the light. Use the natural lighting behind you from the sun. If you're shooting outside, same way. And don't shoot towards windows because you get what's called white bleed, which is just what you saw with Nellie. And white bleed will do just what you saw with Nellie. It'll make it disappear.
Yeah. So this background is distracting because clearly something's going on here. I'm just in
not as bad as
room.
Not as bad as KO's Afghan. Oh.
That's true. But then, yeah, that's bad. This is perfectly acceptable.
Yep. And if you're going to be doing any green screen work, then a green wall is something that you can have behind you as well. And then that's where you can start putting neat things in. Green screening is a thing that's done online 100 different ways in YouTube. I will probably do a Kdenlive thing over the summer, dealing with green screening using Kdenlive, using OpenShot. So I can teach you how to use chroma key and that.
OBS has built-in green screen chroma key filters, and so you can actually manipulate it live while you're recording it. So OBS is wonderful for that.
Yep, and it's free, and Nellie has a video that she's just shared with you. There's also other videos online, but Nellie's video is very self-directed, very easy to use. We've used it with students, and I can tell you that it works the best kind. So
very
that,
basic.
I think, that is our time.
You can with the green Bristol board from the dollar store also, our favorite place.
Well,
our favorite place, the dollar store.
Well, teachers, we wind up there more than we like.
Summer camp consumables.
Love Brilliant Labs, that's for sure. Well, listen, thank you to both of you. I think that was the most comprehensive, brilliant content creation half hour ever. We could easily spend, hours and hours and days on this, but that time is better spent, capturing video out there and uploading and creating your own. We're just thrilled to have had all of you with us. We have 16 watching right now on our YouTube live, and the numbers dropped down to 40, but we're up to 43 users, and it's a beautiful Friday afternoon here in Atlantic, Canada. So thank you all for being with us. Nellie, John, I always learn something when I'm with you. Actually, Nellie, I always learn something when I'm with you. John, I always laugh.
Not so much.
I always laugh. The last 3 months has been incredible and exhausting for content creation. And I'm not doing any of it. Nellie and all of your colleagues over at Community TV, it's incredible to know that you've released all of that content, and on our YouTube channel, I mean, we've gone from, I don't know what the numbers were, but 40 pieces of content up to 250, and I am kind of making that up, but it's been an exponential increase. Maybe exponential.
Yeah, it's nearing 300 now. It's amazing, and my team is really great at coming up with amazing new content, and we're learning as we go, as all of us are, learning how to film, learning how to make our videos better and more engaging. It's surprising how much students appreciate that we are learning something new.
Absolutely.
And people can just be like, okay, they clearly are just. We would just seem like their mom or their grandparents if we were filming like this. It's fine, but we can get better and better.
It's been absolutely inspiring to see a number of longtime educators and new educators who just have become incredibly ambitious in taking on even multiple camera angles, like your little cooling rack trick with pencils.
Super dollar store.
Love it. All right, well, listen, I'm going to do what we do best here, but before we end this, I'm going to ask the 38 users that are here if you would be all obliging. This is the last of a exhausting and exciting 22 PL sessions that we've offered this week. If you wouldn't mind turning on your webcams so that we can take a group selfie, it will be our intention to share this on our social medias, so just putting that out there. So if that's not your jam, do not do it, but it would be great for us to take a screenshot. If you wouldn't mind, here we are, Charles.
Hey,
thank you.
Charles.
All right, who wants to be next to Charles? Oh, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. All right.
Nice.
Gary and James, and there's Norma.
Hey, Norma.
We'll just
I feel like I know you now. Justin, hello.
it's really neat, you know, we're blending these virtual and physical environments. All right, just a
I'm
couple
loving
more
it. And I love
moments.
the grid view you can get. You can
Yeah.
actually see everyone.
Very cool.
We haven't
There's
actually
faith.
gotten to the point where we have filled this grid. We're not sure, like, you know, if you have 100, we had 120 users on the other day. Not many of them had their webcams on. All right, well, listen, I don't want to keep too many of your.
Oh, here we
keep you
go.
guys
Got a
too
few more
long.
coming. Kevin's there.
Hello, Christine,
Christine
Kevin.
O'Toole.
Nice.
All right, if you guys all want to give a thumbs up, I'm going to capture the screen here.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, screen capture is done.
Some of you
and-
already have great
I'm going to
setups.
turn off the recording here now, I think.
Perfect, and I have ended the YouTube live. So if any of you, thanks, Kevin.